Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video leading up to the 6th episode for The Walking Dead Season 9. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on showrunner Angela Kang confirming that Jadis did in fact trade Heath to whoever she has been talking to on the radio. And I'll put the link in the description so you guys can check this one out from thewalkingdead.com or skybound.com, where it confirms from showrunner Angela Kang, who of course is the showrunner for the Walking Dead TV series now, that Heath was actually taken by Jadis and traded to whoever she's been talking to on the radio or the walkie-talkie, and that, you know, that's the helicopter community basically took him. So this one is actually kind of cool. You know, you can definitely click that link to check out the details. Here's what it says from her. It says, Walking Dead showrunner Angela Kang confirmed the theory to insiders Kristen Acuna following Rick's last episode. Quote, that was kind of the intention that we had back in the back of our heads this whole time, Kang said, referring to whether Jadis traded Heath to the helicopter community. Even so, it's no secret Corey Hawkins also left the show to work on a new 24 series along with feature films, Straight Outta Compton, Kong Skull Island, and Black K Klansman. But outside of those projects, his character's departure was also woven into the bigger picture of the franchise. It says, even back in that season where, you know, we had to write the wonderful Corey Hawkins out because he had huge opportunities in the feature film world, those seeds were already being set there, Kang revealed. So, you can check it out. There's a picture there of, I think it was a season 8 or season 7, one of the two, where Rick is at the junkyard, and you can see kind of the RV in the background there, or an RV. So it kind of fits in well. Now, a lot of us had thought because there was the PPP sounds card that meant that the Whispers had taken Heath, and certainly that was at the time made the most sense. But now that we've kind of had all these reveals about what Jadis has been doing, giving people over to this community, whoever they are, probably a new community, because I wouldn't think that they would be the Whispers, you know, at this time, considering that the Whispers in the comic book series, they don't do that, and even though there was the PPP sound card there, I guess that was more of an Easter egg and maybe a little bit of misdirection, because they didn't end up going with him being with the Whispers type of idea, at least not so far, and we don't know if the Whispers are connected in any way to the group that Jadis has been talking to. Probably not, considering if they were, then that would kind of mess things up a little bit with regards to Rick, because, you know, those groups should probably be separate, because one is going to be in the movies, right, with Rick and maybe Heath, because we could see if she did trade Heath and he's still alive, then he'll probably be in the same place that Rick wakes up in. So, you know, that would be kind of cool if we got to see Heath in the Walking Dead movies. If he's not going to return to the canon original series, getting to see him in the movie with Rick would be cool to have him be kind of one of our supporting cast that we actually know, because he might be the only one who it would make sense for them to include out of our original Walking Dead series cast in the movie to help support for Rick. So I like that idea, and for fans of Heath, you know, really good news, because then for them, you know, they can look forward to the movies, and we'll see if they can line up Corey Hawkins to do the movies with Andrew Lincoln, which I tend to think he probably want to do, because he might be able to, first off, he might get paid more to do it, because movies generally, you know, a lot of the actors involved, we usually get better than TV, right? Unless it's like a big TV show or something, which The Walking Dead is, but there's a lot of characters and everything. So for movies, you know, I'm gonna go to the movies for sure, which is what he did originally anyway. So a Walking Dead movie would be like, you know, it might work out good for him, right? It might work out even better for him than if he had come back and returned to the original Walking Dead series earlier. So this could be really cool, right? Because you're gonna need somebody there to go along with Rick, and that's a really good one to go with. So leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think about that one. It not directly being the Whispers, the PPP sound card maybe not being I'm not sure, not being related, or it just maybe the way it worked out, they had to kind of switch it for this other group based on Corey Hawkins' schedule. Let me know what you guys think about that. You can break that down yourself if you want to, and leave a comment below. A few questions for today's Q&A, and there is a new issue of The Walking Dead today, so I might review that tomorrow for you guys. I think that probably makes sense. Midipara says the show will get canceled before Rick comes back. So that's one of the ones, because I did the video yesterday, will he ever return to the original Walking Dead TV series? And it's a really good question. Of course, we don't know for sure right now, but depending on how long the movies take, maybe not, right? Or at least not until the very end, and maybe not as a series regular. Maybe just as a few shots here and there, which really does change things up for the original Walking Dead series and put it in quite a different a future kind of outlook than what we had anticipated for. Like Michonne might be getting a lot of time, because if Daryl wants to, and Norman Reedus has said as much, Daryl's kind of your Wolverine of The Walking Dead, so he wants to be alone on his own, right? But who are you going to have lead the overall communities? It's probably going to be Michonne. So, man, that one's really crazy. And to see Michonne as kind of the forefront, leader character for the overall series is it's not something I think almost any of us expected to see. But I do like Michonne too. It's just I never had thought of that, especially in the comic book series, when you see kind of Rick is with Andrea, and then what happens with that. And I won't get into spoilers. Those of you guys who've read it, But in some ways, it's sort of like the TV series version of Michonne. We thought she might be like Andrea from the comics, like Rick's Andrea from the comics in the TV series version. And clearly that's kind of gone the opposite way, because you have it exactly the other way around. So it's kind of a reverse for that. The Walking Dead TV series and the Walking Dead universe in AMC is quickly becoming much different than the comic book version at this time. It's probably deviating more now than it probably ever has in the past before, way more than it ever did prior, with having Rick leave and everything. Totally different. So we'll see how it turns out. But will it get canceled? I don't think it'll get canceled. I think AMC is doing some smart stuff with this, where they're doing the movies, they're doing all this stuff, so they're certainly providing fans with enough to keep fans interested, I think. I mean, I thought that episode 5, when we watched that one through, man, that episode had a lot of buzz around it, and most people were really, really happy with that episode. And for them to be able to do that after 9 years, or, in its 9th year, to be able to connect with fans like that is, that's not an easy thing to do. So we'll see if they can continue to do that kind of stuff. If they can get that same kind of emotional response out of fans, then it should be just fine. But they're going to have to rebuild some stars here. And yeah, man, we'll have to see how the audience, how many people tune in now that Rick isn't going to be in there anymore. But it did sound like in the recent video on Monday I did, that most people were saying, most responses were that yes, they're going to continue to watch the series even though Rick is gone. So I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that people are still going to give it a chance. And I think the quality of this season so far has really set people up to say, wow, this has been so good. If they can continue to do even close to this, or have a similar kind of feel that we've had in these first 5 episodes, and even if Rick isn't there, it could still be really awesome because of how they've managed to do it. I mean, this season has been impressive to say the least so far, right? I think most people already probably like it more than season 8, based on what I'm seeing. Max Lucas says, Trev, I think it's safe to say that Michonne never got pregnant with Rick's child from when they tried in episode 3. Yeah, for Max, yeah, man, it seems to be the case. But, I'm okay with that. There are the first few minutes of the episode is online. You can search around if you want to see it with Michonne. And it looks like Michonne is the first forefront type of character that they show in episode 6. So she, if anybody's replacing Rick, I'd almost say it's Michonne. It's definitely not Daryl, based on what we're seeing. At least in terms of the creative. Maybe not in terms of the biggest draw for the series, but in terms of, which character's at the forefront now, it's Michonne, and none of us really predicted that, or almost none of us would have thought that's what they were going to do with it, but that's what they're doing. So she's super tough and everything. It makes sense. I just didn't think that that's what we were going to see. But yeah, it's unfortunate that she never did. She looks pretty sad in the first 4 minutes type deal of episode 6, as you'd expect to see from her. She might change a lot after Rick is gone. She might be like a different person. She might be a different character. because just being so filled with sadness after Rick being gone. Also, the other thing is they never found Rick's body either, right? They never found a body, so maybe they just assumed that he blew up into smithereens, or died, turned into a walker, and wandered off somewhere. Which I don't know if she'll be able to live with herself if she thinks that's what happened to him. So tricky there. Or if they're aware that he's not dead, he must have somehow left or gotten away or something. But from their perspective, when you watch episode 5, I would think, if I was Daryl or Michonne or any of the others, I would think he died right there. I wouldn't think that he'd be alive out there somewhere. Shannon Neill says, hey, Trev, did you hear that Angela Kang confirmed in the Skybound interview today that Jadis did indeed take Heath to the helicopter crew? Could it be possible Rick will be seeing Heath in the movie? So, so thanks, Shannon, for that one. That's a topic for the video. Love it. And, I think to do a prediction, long story short, I think we'll see Heath in the movies. I think it makes sense. It makes sense for everybody. It's going to make sense for Corey Hawkins to do, because if he's doing other movies, it's like, do the Walking Dead trilogy movies. Do it. You know what I mean? You want to help your career out, do it. I don't care if you have to, whatever other movies you're doing, that one is, that's going to be huge. Everyone's going to want to see that. So you got to do that one, right? It's like being in the Avengers or something, or maybe even more so because, you've been built up from the Walking Dead series. You're going to get all that crossover and everything. That's going to be great to do. So, I expect to see him back. Why wouldn't you? I mean, everyone's going to want to watch that after episode 5. Everybody. I'm done with the show. Adding a little badass 10-year-old Judith is ridiculous and stupid. Comical, says Buff88. So he doesn't like it. So, big changes, right? Nothing against Buff. It's cool. If you don't like it, you don't like it. There's no problem. I get what you're saying because it is pretty comical and comic booky. I have to admit that. Cartoonish is what I called it, I think, when I first saw it in the review. But I'm happy. Like, I'm fine with it. And I feel like the first 5 episodes were so good that I'm open-minded to see what they're going to do now, because I feel like there's more confidence there. It's like, before this season started, so many people were so upset with season 7 and 8 that I wasn't sure how people were going to respond. But after these first 5 episodes of season 9, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, well, if they were able to do that, then, even without Rick, let's see what they can come up with. Will it be as good? Probably not. Will fans enjoy it as much? Probably not. But it can still have merit if it's even, 80% as good as the first 5 episodes were, right? So let's see, man. Carrie Major says, Q&A, love your videos, Trev. How did Judith end up with Rick's python, right? So he must have shot it off, right? He goes flying and it goes somewhere else. And they found that, but they never found him. And he washes up on stream near Jadis, and she sends him off on the helicopter. Well, she goes off with him, right? So Carrie Major says, Q&A, love your videos, Trev. Oh, right. So that's the one for the python. Damon Longstreet says, after seeing Judith, old man Carl can't happen, but good thing they kept her alive. Theory, instead of Michonne, her daughter at the Commonwealth, but finds Rick. So the idea of the Commonwealth maybe being connected to the helicopter group, and maybe eventually Rick at the Commonwealth reunites with Michonne. I think that's the biggest thing. Right now, here's what I'm saying. Before the Walking Dead television series ends, before it reaches its final season, at some point, Rick and Michonne have to meet again. They have to. For Michonne, they've got to. Right? And Rick too. They've got to. They've got to find each other again. And it's kind of brilliant in that this is like Rick's eternal struggle, right? He wants to be with his family. And in episode 5, it's so brilliant. At the beginning of the series, he wants to find his family. He does, and then it gets taken away from him, basically. In the process, he formulates a new family with Judith and Michonne and all the others, everybody else he cares about, Maggie, and even if he's disagreeing with her and she's trying to kill people behind his back or whatever, he still cares for her, in the Herschel scene and everything. And everybody else, like, that's his family, Daryl, his brother, and that kind of thing. So he gets his family again, and then he gets taken away again. And now it's like he's cursed to forever have to search for his family. And so before the series ends, he has to be reunited with Michonne. If he's not, then I think fans will be disappointed. Or maybe you do it in the last movie, at the end of the last movie or something. It'll be tricky with timing, but I think they can do it. Anyway, that'll be it for today's video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, and you missed any of the ones from the last few days, check out these end videos here. Click the channel name below and watch some of the other videos from this weekend. Review for episode 5. Talk about the movies and the information about the 3 movies. Lots of good stuff this week for sure, and we'll keep right on going, because don't forget, even though we had one of the most epic episodes of The Walking Dead ever on Sunday, coming up this Sunday again, we have a new episode. So as crazy as much as that felt like a series finale or a season finale, the very next week we have a new episode led by Michonne, it looks like, at least to start. That's it for this video. See you guys again soon, probably tomorrow for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace later, guys. See you soon.